Hey, what's up, everybody? It's the Stacking Kid here, and today we're going to do kind of a controversial video topic on why I'm not buying silver, and why, if I were y'all, I wouldn't be doing it either. But we're going to start off the video by saying I'm not a financial advisor by any means. Make sure to do your own research, do your own due diligence before you put any money into any asset class or stock or anything like that. So to get started, right here, what you have in front of you is you have about $1,000 worth of silver. Roughly, I think it's a bit over that right now. Just some silver I pulled out, tried to measure out roughly $1,000. And so that's just in silver value. That's not including premium. As you can see, there are some premium pieces. At the top, you have some Perth Mint, and of course, Morgan and Peace dollars go for a pretty good amount above spot, and then some government minted bullion. And so it's really interesting to see that this much silver is $1,000 in silver value, which before was only, I believe this much silver. I believe before was only, when silver was $14, this was literally $500 worth. I mean, it's crazy to see because a lot of this silver I bought between 14, 16, and even on a lot of, actually this coin I paid quite a bit under spot for. I remember that deal. Silver Baggins posted that deal, and so did some other people. So, but what I mean is, like, even some of these coins, like this monkey right here, is a pretty nice premium piece. I believe I only paid $2.50 over, and that's because coin shops don't really see a lot of the premiums in Perth Mint stuff. And this was at a time when even the American Silver Eagles, like, you could readily buy them at $1.50 over, $2 over, and sometimes even in the case of I think one of the Eagles that's out here, I paid $1 over, and that is pretty darn good for American Eagles because now you're seeing them go for, what is it, $6 over sometimes online. And not only has the spot price increased, but the demand for silver has increased, so the premium above them has increased. And you see how silver has more than doubled in such a short period of time. It just slowly creeped up to 18, then 19, then just shot up after it hit 20. It's very interesting to see how silver did this and why this happened. But for me, I just can't bring myself to buy more silver at $29. $29 at $6 over spot. It's not, to me, that doesn't seem reasonable because I bought all this silver at such a low premium, and like a lot of my junk silver, like this stuff, I bought at spot or under spot, and that's truly, it's amazing to me how at least my wealth hasn't increased, but my wealth in terms of dollars has increased just by holding this asset. And I think it truly has done its job of maintaining wealth. And that's why I don't think I'll be selling any of my stack, like, Maple Leafs, American Eagles. Now, I may do a trade for platinum, which I talked about in my previous video, but I will not, I don't think I'll be selling any of my silver, besides my premium pieces, perhaps. But I don't believe I'm gonna be buying any because I'm holding my silver for wealth preservation. And preserving wealth over a long period of time also entails some risk, especially when you're putting it into silver. Silver is by nature, especially the way we use it in the industry, it's a metal that fluctuates a lot in price, going up and down, and it's one of the most manipulated assets in the world. In my opinion, it's one of the most manipulated assets in the world. All it takes, because there's just not as much silver trading as there is gold trading amongst, well, the number of people doing it. The volume is much higher just because silver is less rare, but the number of people doing it is far less than gold, and that's just purely because most of the people that own silver are, sorry, I'm burping, but most of the people that own silver are government, big banks, and it's very hard for the average person to really fluctuate the silver prices. Now, the way that we can do that is through premiums, and whenever demand goes up for the physical market, it ends up bringing the premium higher. Sorry. But personally, in my opinion, I don't think that the physical demand for silver, in terms of people pulling out of the COMEX, on their paper, and in terms of people buying it from these dealers, and in terms of the high demand for silver, and the less production of silver, I don't think that's kicked in, and just the sheer fears that are out there right now. So I think silver does have a lot of potential in the near future, especially with the election fears coming. But you may be asking, but Stacking Kid, then why aren't you buying silver? Because I think, along with many other people, that there will be a pullback. I think that silver went up too much, too fast, and whenever that happens, it has to come down. Because no asset class, especially one as volatile as silver, should be able to do that fast. Of course, there was definitely market manipulation, but there are so many people out there that want silver to go down. I'm not talking about like people in the stacking community, even though I personally want silver to go down so I can buy more. But big people want silver to go down so it'll be easier to buy more. Like you looked at right before the recession. And we saw a similar case with silver. It took a big drop before it went up. But we didn't see the same way as we did during the Great Recession, because it was just a quick drop and a quick spike. We didn't see the same thing here. We saw a prolonged time in the low values, and I think that really shows how people are viewing our economy right now. I think people don't know what to think of the economy. People right now, people right now are confused on whether to look at the market and say, "Hey, it's doing pretty well," even though past couple weeks it's been kind of stagnating. But people see the economy is doing really well, but they also see our job numbers, our sales, the drop in companies' revenue, and they say, "How is this happening?" They see the amount of government spending, they see the debt that our government's going into, and they see the sheer spending, the sheer amount that the government is trying to keep our economy afloat, and they see that there's just so much volatility in the markets, and it has such a high chance of dropping. Now, and that's where you come to the conclusion that silver and gold are assets that, well, that's how these people come to the conclusion that they need to put their money into silver and gold as both a hedge against inflation, which more inflation is coming, because right now we've only had a 0.6% inflation rate, and that is because the cost of item, because we calculate our inflation rate based on how far your dollar brings you, and there's only been a marginal increase in prices because although we've printed so much money, what's disconcerting is that people aren't spending a lot of money, and so that's why the Fed wants to up inflation rate, so we could see as soon as people start spending more money, we're going to see a much higher inflation rate, probably around the 5 to 6% rate. People are going to freak out as soon as they realize how much the inflation rate is, and people are going to flood into precious metals. But because of the next stimulus package, I know a lot of people in the silver community are going to disagree with me on this. A lot of people are saying because of the stimulus package, silver's going to go up. But I say, how does that make sense? I don't. In a world, when the next stimulus package comes, people are going to have new faith in the stock market. People are going to put more money into the stock market, especially because they're worried about inflation. A lot of people don't go to precious metals whenever they're worried about inflation. They go to the stock market because the stock market will also go up. The stock market recently in the past week, well, along with the earnings reports, but I think a lot of what's also driving the stock market up beyond its previous highs, what's bringing our stocks to new highs, is not due to inflation, but due to inflationary fears. Because, as I said before in some of my live streams, the stock market's a very anticipatory market compared to you not seeing loaves of bread cost more yet, because until there's an actual substantial inflation, you just don't see that. And all this, yeah, and it's quite a bit, and there's so many variables causing that could change which direction silver's going to go in. But in my opinion, silver will take one last drop before going up and reaching. And I think it'll maintain a $40 range. If Biden wins, I think silver will go higher because there's just gonna be so much fear. And many people, and most people in the stacking community are conservative, support Trump. And I do think that in the case that Biden wins, there's going to be so much fear of an even higher inflation rate, of more money pumping into the economy, that silver could very well hit $60 to $70. Now, I'm not with the people, although I'd love it if it happened. I'm not with the people that say it'll hit 100. If it did that, I'd be ecstatic. The return on my investment would be amazing. But I think the only way for silver to hit $100 per ounce is for us to have a 10% inflation rate. So if we do see that, I say yes, we're gonna see silver at 100. We're gonna see silver at 150. But until that happens, I think silver is gonna probably be kept under. I could see silver going to 60 or 70, but I just doubt it hitting 100. Well, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a bit of a longer video. Hope you guys enjoyed it and enjoyed my reasoning behind why I'm not buying silver and my opinion on where silver is going in the near future. So I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and wish to see more like it. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.